Montana is earthquake country. In Montana, we're fortunate enough to enjoy views like this every day. Our beautiful state is synonymous, literally, with mountains. What many people don't think about when enjoying a view like this, however, is the inherent danger that can accompany it. Many of the mountain ranges in western Montana are formed by repeated slip-along faults, what we know as earthquakes. Though most of the faults are quiet now, they're far from inactive and someday may unleash a powerful earthquake. In fact, Montana is one of the most seismically active states in the U.S. This video will present the dangers of an earthquake in Montana and the precautions you can take to protect your family and yourself. This information will benefit all Montanans, from Yaktel Zeta and anyone who might find themselves in earthquake country, because you never know when the ground will shake again. Since records have been kept, Montana has experienced numerous destructive earthquakes. A belt of potentially active faults, frequent small earthquakes, and occasional larger earthquakes, known as the Intermountain Seismic Belt, traverses western Montana. Most, but not all, of Montana's earthquake activity occurs along this belt. Montana experienced several large earthquakes in the late 19th century. These earlier earthquakes were felt strongly and caused minor damage, but as Montana continued to grow after the turn of the 20th century, earthquakes had far more substantial impacts on the increasing population and economy. So, what can you do before an event happens? The first thing to consider are the supplies you and your family will need to survive on your own for up to 72 hours. The most basic is water, 1 gallon per person per day, with a minimum 3-day supply. Store it in a cool, dry, but accessible place. Keep in mind that children, nursing or expecting mothers, elderly, and sick people may need more water. Also, take any emergency medical situation into account. And don't forget your pets. Store at least a 3-day supply of non-perishable food. Oh, and don't forget the can opener. For more information on what to include in a complete emergency kit, visit www.ready.mt.gov. Before an earthquake even strikes, here are some things to consider. After preparing a basic emergency kit, make sure your family knows where it is and have a plan in place. In earthquake country, it's a good idea to secure shelves to walls. The last thing you need is a heavy object coming down onto your head. Repair defective or worn down electrical wiring and any leaky gas connections in your house. Install flexible pipe fittings in a code-compliant manner to avoid gas or water leaks. If possible, secure your water heater, refrigerator, furnace, and gas appliances by strapping them to the wall studs or bolting them to the floor. Most importantly, prepare your family. Make sure your family talks about safety and communication in an emergency situation. It's also a good idea to practice drills until they're all comfortable with the procedures. Designate a contact for all family members, and identify a contact such as a friend or relative who lives out of state for household members to notify when they're safe. For training and emergency preparedness, contact your local emergency manager, the Red Cross, or a search and rescue organization. These groups are always looking for volunteers and provide disaster preparedness training to local communities. Also visit www.shakeout.org/Montana for more information on earthquake drills. Now that you're prepared, here's what to do when an earthquake strikes. The first thing to remember is this: stay calm. Many earthquake deaths are caused by debris falling onto people who panicked and fled from a relatively safe area. Next, there are 3 things you must do. Drop. Get low to prevent injury from falling down. Cover. Find shelter beneath a sturdy object, such as a table or a desk, and cover your head and neck with your arms. In older buildings, where heavy plaster disconnected from lath is a concern, taking shelter in a doorway will work if better cover isn't available. An indoor corner will serve as well. Stay away from windows, light fixtures, or any other object that can fall and cause injury. Hold on. Grab onto your shelter for support. Stay where you are until the shaking stops. Make no attempt to go outdoors until the earthquake passes. So, when the shaking starts, there are only 3 steps to remember: drop, cover, and hold on. If you find yourself outdoors, stay there. Do not attempt to enter a building. The greatest danger exists directly outside buildings, at exits, and alongside exterior walls. Many buildings in the business districts of Montana's towns and cities are built from brick, which can easily crumble and fall. Move away from buildings, streetlights, utility wires, and trees. If you're a lake, get away from the shoreline and move to higher ground if possible. Though Montana obviously isn't at risk for tsunamis, a large wave in a lake can be equally devastating to the immediate area. If you're on a hillside, take cover below a sturdy tree if possible, and watch for falling rocks and debris. Once you're in the open, stay there until the shaking stops. Ground movement during an earthquake is seldom the direct cause of death or injury. If you're in a vehicle, stop as quickly as safety permits and stay in the vehicle. Avoid stopping near or under buildings, trees, overpasses, and utility wires. Proceed cautiously once the earthquake is stopped. Avoid roads, bridges, or ramps that may have been damaged by the earthquake. If you're in a canyon or on a mountainous road, keep alert for falling rock or landslides. If you find yourself trapped in a building, again, stay calm. Do not light any open flame in the event of a broken gas line. Do not move around or kick up dust. Cover your mouth with a handkerchief or clothing if you can. Tap on a pipe or wall so rescuers can locate you. Use a whistle if one is available. Shout only as a last resort, as shouting can cause you to inhale dangerous amounts of dust. After the shaking stops, check your surroundings to make sure it's safe to move, then exit the building in the quickest and safest way available. Expect aftershocks. These secondary earthquakes are usually less violent than the main quake, but can be strong enough to do additional damage and are most likely in the first hours and days following the earthquake, but can occur weeks or even months later. Montana is famous for its sense of community, with neighbors looking out for one another. Remember to help your neighbors, as taking steps now can go a long way in protecting you, your family, and those around you. Talk to your family, friends, and colleagues today, and share this video to make certain that all Montanans are ready for when the ground begins to shake. Montana may be in danger from earthquakes, but that doesn't mean you have to be.